Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Maxon Report presented by Ohio Sports Talk. Tonight we have Austin Miller coming from Bellflower, California, Bellflower High School as well. Austin, welcome to the show. I know it's been a busy couple of weeks for you, extremely with the commitment and everything, but we appreciate your time. And how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing good. How are you?
We're doing good. As we talked a little bit offline, the weather difference is kind of crazy. We're in the 90s to 100 with heat index here in Ohio, and California is actually a little bit cooler. So I did not expect that.
Yeah.
So we'll just kind of dive in, Austin. Have you lived in California your whole life?
Yeah, I'm definitely a Californian. I was born in South LA. I was raised in South LA, but I live in Bellflower now. I go to Bellflower High School. Yeah.
And being especially from California, was football always a first choice? Was that always kind of a first love? And where did you kind of get your itch for the game?
Yeah. Football is definitely a first love being a California kid. My dad was an NFL scout, so I was put into football at a young age and really just thrown into the deep end, and I learned to swim. That's where the love for football came from.
An NFL scout, that is awesome. A little bit of experience on your side on that level. And what year did you start? Did you start like in grade school, or did you kind of pick it up?
I started playing football when I was 6, and I've been playing ever since.
And have you always been running back, wide receiver, or have you kind of moved around a little bit as the years went by?
Yeah, actually, originally I was a running back, but the year before my 7th grade year, I decided to switch to receiver. So I've only been playing receiver for about 2 years.
Wow. And the volume speaks for itself on that. We'll definitely dive into that. But kind of walk me through that. You get your love for it in grade school from California. Is there anything that in those years that kind of stand out for you?
I had got hurt one of my last years of youth ball, and I couldn't play for the rest of that year. And there's a saying that you don't miss something until you lose it. And when I lost it, I missed it a lot. So I came back with a little chip on my shoulder, a little vengeance.
As you should. That's it's always good to hear those rebound stories of, man, I had to sit out a year and things of that nature. Our last guest had a little bit of an arthritis issue and actually had to sit out a couple. But the resilience and things of that nature. When you bounce back and you got to middle school, kind of take me through that. Where you like, did it divide to 5th and 6th grade kind of because Ohio's a little bit different in that retrospect. Did you have your own team in 6th grade and then bounce to middle school, or did the 6th grade kind of follow in that same division that you came from?
In California, middle school is 7th and 8th grade. So 7th and 8th grade, I just spent working, to get ready for this last season that I had, and you see how that turned out.
Yes, and we definitely did see that. And so you go, you get the 7th and 8th grade. Was your father always a coach on those staffs, or did that come later?
That definitely came later. My dad, he was the coach. He was the defensive coordinator at Bellflower High School when my uncle was the head coach. But when my uncle left for Lusinger, my dad took over as a head coach a year later. And that's when I came in.
Okay. Little timeline there. And, take me through that transition when you kind of go through your 8th grade year preparing for high school. What's that off season like? Because to a lot of people, it's a big transition.
Yeah, I had been preparing, for my freshman football year, basically since I was 6 years old. But it really got intense going into my 8th grade year. I was working out 4 times a day. And usually we would have team workouts, and then after team workouts we would have track, and then I would go to my personal trainer, and then I would go home and lift too as well. So it would be 4 workouts during the day, getting ready to get ready for the season and getting ready to put on a show.
Damn, 4 workouts and track. What because a lot of skill position, that's not a big surprise there. What did you run in track? Just kind of picking your
Yeah.
brain a little bit.
Just basics. I ran 100 and 200.
I was a 4x1 guy myself, but I had shorter legs.
Yeah.
What so you go through that 4 workouts in one day, absolutely phenomenal. You go through that stage and you reach that high school level. Uh,
Yeah.
kind of take me through that first off season where I know you're doing 4 workouts a day. When you actually get there, when you start the 7-on-7s, and you guys get the jerseys and helmets, and those
Yeah.
things become assigned. Also playing both ways on a ball. Take me through that preparation.
So, to play at that level, you have to put your body through that. You have to put yourself through that. And, going into 7-on-7s, going into those tournaments, I had got a lot of recognition because I had a couple plays that went, viral of me before the season. So I think people got a taste of what was going to happen during the season.
And that's something we'll definitely touch on here. In this day and age of information and how things are past huddle. All that technology, everything. Just a snap of a finger in the right moment can really
Yeah.
change somebody's life. And it sounds like definitely helped you to a trajectory that you're already on. Just help you really get there. And
Yeah.
you guys rock and roll. You hit week one. I know that was a bit of a heartache. A little bit of a nail biter there. Kind of take me through that. Your first game of the season, first game at
Yeah.
Bellflower. What's that stadium? What's that like compared to any other level you've been on?
Yeah, the stadium was definitely packed. Week one games are usually always packed, but playing in a big environment, playing in a loud crowd, playing in front of a loud crowd is, not something that's new to me. It's not something that I'm necessarily scared of in terms of the light. I've always played in front of big crowds, and I was made to entertain. So putting on a show for all the people that came was definitely something big for me. And being it was my first high school game. So yeah.
That's fantastic. And like I said, I know it necessarily didn't go 100% your guys' way, but the season rolls on. A short memory
So we
is key to
actually
any athlete or any success.
yeah. So we won that game. We won that game, I believe 28-21, but we had to forfeit that game towards down the road towards the end of the season because for an eligible player.
Okay. That is something I should have asked you offline, so I apologize for my lack of research there because I just read it as it was printed. So I don't want to take anything
Yeah.
away from you guys. You guys heard it here. That things of that nature. I hate to see it really taken away from the athletes and the people that really put in the work and
Yeah.
got the W, because it's not one person that makes the W. So that's crazy. I didn't know that. So I apologize, Austin, for not knowing that off the top of my head. I should have dug a little deeper. But the season rolls on, and take me through week 2 because they didn't take that away from you guys.
Yeah. Week two is, one of the games that I came on and exploded. Week one, you know, that was the only game that I got, single coverage. And we had to give our film to them. So they saw, what happened week one. So their game plan we knew coming in was, they're gonna double triple team. But, that didn't really matter. So
Hey,
we
and
walk
the
in,
great
talk,
ones,
and all that.
it never does.
Yeah. So we walk into Oxnard, and I think I had 4 touchdowns. Yeah, I had 2 receiving, a rushing, and a defensive fumble recovery touchdown as well.
Yeah, we definitely you had 13 rushing touchdowns total last
Yeah,
season, 8 receiving alone for a total of 21 offensive touchdowns. That doesn't count some of the defensive plays, but yeah, I mean, you go into games like Oxnard 35-7, Whisper 28-6, but and Fireball 51-0. Take me through what that's like, because that had to be a celebration for all three levels, especially the second stringers at some point in the game. But you guys never let the foot off the pedal, and the defense didn't yield either.
yeah. So Fireball was actually our homecoming game. So all of our alumni were coming back to watch us play. So we had to put on a show. We played a not so great team, and we decided, we're gonna go up on them, and we're not gonna take our foot off the gas pedal until the clock hits 0.
And then those are always the best games, because you think of the two-a-days and the camps and the workouts,
Yeah,
and for some athletes doing 2 to 3, you doing 4 workouts a day, on the days that it counts the most, and those are the most rewarding. I can say that as a player and a coach myself at the high school I'm at here in Ohio,
yeah,
because I feel like you get everybody in, and when everybody holds, especially those starters on the sidelines, like they didn't give it up, they bend, they don't break. Everybody's
yeah.
whipping the towels, the crowd's doing the surf. Those are some of the better times as well. And you guys really follow that up with just kind of a big run. You look at you look at Compton, 59-7 win, so kind of more of the
Yeah.
same there. You guys really put the gas on the pedal. Take me through that game, especially defensively.
Yeah, going into that game, our old coach, who was there when my uncle was the head coach, he left to go coach to be the head coach of that team. So, we had, I would say, a little bad blood. So, we came in, we were like, you know, we want to stomp a mud hole on them.
And stomp you guys did, sir. Stomp you guys did. Uh, and really, going into close into the playoffs, uh, prepping for that. Do you guys get any time off, or is it just as soon as you guys, the clock strikes 0 on the last week of the season, do you jump in, or did you guys have any time off?
I think we had 1 day off, and then after that, we were in preparation for the playoffs. We had we were playing a pretty decent team, and they had said in an interview, their head coach had said in the interview a couple of days before the game that Bellflower was a 1-man team, and that without me, that they would beat us, and it would be a bad loss. But that didn't turn out to be the case.
No, sir, it didn't. And Nobles, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but it doesn't sound like I need to with the way they talk to you guys.
Yeah,
Kind of a nail biter, a 14-7 win there. That
yeah,
being, that playoff experience in a crowd, take me through that, especially as a freshman, starting both ways and playing such a pivotal role on both, receiving, rushing, and defense. Like for you, hitting that first, hitting that first field for the playoffs.
yeah. First playoff atmosphere was definitely exhilarating. But when you get in the game and you're so locked in that you can't really hear the noise or anything like that, you're just so focused on doing your job.
And that's awesome. Take me through that though. What was halftime like? Was the score? Were you guys always up, or was it kind of a neck and neck situation?
So halftime was 7-7. So we went into halftime tied up, and our goal was to continue to stop them on defense and to put up some points to go win the game.
And what was the pivotal play that put you guys up 14?
The pivotal play was our running back, who I also blocked for, my running back Omarion Linton. He broke a about 70-yard touchdown, so that we went up 14-7 there.
A big shout out to your teammate there, dude. That
Yeah,
that's awesome. And the clock strikes zero. You guys, the relief kind of hits the air, and what's that like getting that under your belt, especially as a freshman? That first
yeah,
that first win. What's that atmosphere? Because everybody's watching.
yeah. First playoff win. The eyes are all on you, but I was made for the spotlight. I was made to entertain people. So doing it is not something that's huge or a big deal to me because I was prepared for this my whole life.
And the proof is in the pudding. You guys go into Colton. Take me through that, because that was another kind of back and forth battle that you guys ended up
Yes.
coming out on. But what was the big
So
what were the big moments that stood out for you?
yeah, so against we played Colton, and we had checked the forecast 2 days before the game. It said it was going to be heavy rain, and we at Bellflower we play on a mud field. I mean, we play on a grass field. So heavy rain on Friday nights at 7 p.m. It's going to be real muddy. And the coincidence is the week before, the quarterback for the team that we played had threw 10 touchdowns and set a CIF record. He had threw 10 touchdowns in a playoff game. So it was kind of a blessing, the fact that it was, going to rain that game and it was going to be all muddy, so he couldn't throw. And that was a really back and forth game. It's muddy, so the ball's real slippery. We had a couple
Yeah.
fumbles. They had a couple fumbles. But, it came down to a last second field goal, and the kicker, he had 3 tries to make the kick, and he missed all 3 of them, and we ended up winning.
Wow, that's
Yeah, and a
that's
nail
what you
biter.
call football. That's what you
Yes,
call
yes,
football.
yes,
You got the nail biter. You have the elements. That takes you back in time for me. That's it's raining outside. Your friends are ready to go. Play a little
yeah,
backyard style. Little BS offense.
yeah,
Everybody's fumbling it. Man, that especially to experience that as a freshman. You've already got so much under your belt, and you guys got the win. That's awesome, man. And
yeah.
I hate talking about the flip side, but take me through the Santa Paula game. I know it didn't go your way, but that was still a battle too, brother.
Yeah.
17-14. You guys are getting basically to the semis. You guys are getting there, third round. Take me through that.
Yeah, so the Santa Paula game, we went in we went up 14 we went in 14-7 at half. Our first half we were blocking real good. We were getting the ball off, we were running great. Going into the second half, we kind of let up off the gas and we gave up a couple plays on defense and they ended up winning in a game-winning field goal. But I had a great game, we had a great game, and we just didn't come out to win. I don't need to like.
And that happens sometimes too. And we live and we learn. And the clock strikes zero on that. I'll pause for a minute.
Yeah,
The clock strikes zero on that, and you take that as a lesson. You have an entire season, like I said, absolutely. You finish regular season and playoffs. 883 yards on the ground, 13 touchdowns, 609 in the air, 8 touchdowns
yeah,
receiving, and your guys' team average was 109 yards on the ground as a team. I couldn't
yeah,
pull up try to pull up the per passing stats. That was really hard to find, so I apologize for not having that on 100% on hand. But you take that experience to clock strike zero. What kind of fire does that put under you? Making that to the third round of the playoffs deep, having it almost a nail biting competition, something that could have went either way. How does that mentally focus you going to the 2026-2027 season?
yeah. Losing that game, seeing all of our seniors cry. We were a really senior heavy team, so knowing all of our seniors are going to be going away, that really hurt. and I think that lit a fire under all of us underclassmen.
And especially, we call you underclassmen by default because that's your sophomore year incoming. But being a team leader, being a guy that's played both ways, a pivotal role.
Yeah.
What's that like mentally right now that you are the guy that even might I add, some juniors and seniors are looking out for too, especially the freshman class coming in at the same time.
Yeah. So being a leader on my team, emerging into that role throughout the season, that was big for me because, at a school like Bellflower, where there's, not many, where we're not really known for our sports, we're not really known for football. So coming in, knowing that I had that role and I had that job to do, it was basically you have to do your job or we're going to lose the game. So you have to emerge into that role, you have to step up, and you have to be that player that everyone expects you to be.
Okay? And it's it sounds like that gives me goosebumps when I hear it as a coach myself. So that gets me excited. And what's been the approach right now in the weight room? If you can give us just a little insight, I won't ask for full undercover details, but
Yeah.
what's the general feeling right now around the locker room, especially with your dad in the helm, you as a
Yeah.
big time leader, you got some upperclassmen stepping up. What's the general feeling for Bellflower High School right now, if you could sum it?
Yeah. We're a young team, we're mainly underclassmen, but we're young, we're turned, we're fired up, and we're ready to go win some games.
Yes, sir. And that's awesome. We'll definitely be tracking that. Every guest that we have on, we like to track through the season as it goes. So that's something we love and respect to do on
Yeah.
our program. And you also made a big decision coming up, so I want to dive into that a little bit. But back in my era when recruiting, we had a little bit of email. We had dial up. I roll there, but we had a little bit of email. But everything was a guy came down with an earpiece and a notebook about this thick and wrote down, a couple things about you, met with your coaches, did a handshake, watched you do a couple drills. But now we got
Yeah.
huddle. Now we got things of that nature. It's online, snap of a finger. What's the recruitment process been like for you, Austin? I know you made the commitment. I want to get there, but to kind of take me through the stages of everything that's been going on for you.
Yeah. So I got my first offer from Arizona when I was in 8th grade. That's actually the school that my dad got his first offer from. So sharing that moment was, pretty cool. But my recruitment really started to take off, in the off season, college coaches coming down from their schools to come see me, coming off of my season. But then it was a Friday night. It was, a big thing, a big event that we hosted where Sports Illustrated came out, and I had a really good camp, and that's when my recruitment really started to take off. Michigan came in over there, and then that's where really the offers started to roll in.
And take me through what it's like, meeting certain coaches or especially Ryan Day and company. If you want to elaborate a little bit on that for your decision, did you from 8th grade before you played your freshman season? Did you get to go to any games? Did you get to go to like any visits or see any of the Coliseums in live time, or was it just all camps?
Yeah, we definitely. I haven't attended any camps, but we definitely went on a lot of game day visits. Um, and meeting all the coaches, was pretty cool. Knowing that these coaches, you watch them on TV all day, and now they're up in front of your face.
Yes. And what are the crowds like? Because you go from a Friday night setting to any stadium on a Saturday. What's that like being on the sideline for a visit, witnessing those
Yeah, being
atmospheres?
being on the sidelines, seeing those stadiums packed out, it's definitely a cool feeling. But I'm built for it.
Okay. Amen. And when it came down to it, if you want to elaborate, I won't push too hard. What came down to the decision making? What was the final kind of straw between you, your family? If you want to, give us a little insight on that.
Yeah. Um, Ohio State in every facet, every category was, the visit was a 10 out of 10. in every category for me. And, they just checked all of my boxes, checked everything that I need in terms of getting to the NFL. You definitely got the pro lineage pipeline. And, we got 14 all-time NFL first round receivers, and JJ is going to be number 15 this year, and hopefully well, not hopefully, but I will be number 16.
There you go. And that long list, continues. They landed you. They have Chris Henry Jr., somebody that played for the
Yeah,
Cincinnati. His father played for the Cincinnati Bengals, going in to this
yeah,
year to play some action. You're going to be right there with him at the end of his career uh, for Ohio State. So yeah, this is going to be outstanding. And to hear that story and those things, it always excites me. It always gives me an insight on how today's recruitment and
yeah,
how things pass. So we really appreciate you opening up on that, because I know that's it's a big question. And
yeah.
I'm going to hit you with a little bit bigger one myself. Before I do though, we're approaching 28 minutes. We want to thank you having on, everybody viewing, everybody coming in. We have a few hundred viewers between Twitter and YouTube. Thank you to everybody that's chiming in,
Yeah.
giving us some love right now. And I want to give a chance. Is there anything that I may have missed or glossed over? Because I always give the chance to circle back on anything that I might have missed before I kind of go into the final stages.
No, we're perfect. We're right on. We're right along schedule.
Yes, sir. We're rocking and rolling, and here's kind of the big one. And I ask everybody maybe a little bit of a different variation, but the same question. And
Yeah.
this one I get to kind of put a label on it. What can Buckeye Nation expect from Austin Miller coming into that campus, coming into that locker room, and coming into that team when you arrive here, sir? And the mic is completely yours to say however
Yeah.
you want to say it.
I think Buckeye Nation can expect, a big, strong, fast receiver who can slice the field up with speed and, make big, exciting red zone catches, but also, stretch the field with my versatility, playing inside, playing in the slot, and playing outside. So I think you're getting a do it all type of player.
And that's awesome. That excites me both as a coach and as a fan. I'm a little biased. I'm from Ohio, but what in the locker room, what can a locker room expect from you?
Yeah. I think the locker room can expect a good teammate, a great teammate, a guy who's going to uplift others when they're not feeling so great, but also, a funny guy who's going to raise the spirits of the team and the team locker room.
Okay. And that's important too. The locker room experience and putting it on the field. It's
Yeah.
one complete picture. So it's really great to hear. What Buckeye Nation, be excited. We are excited. I promise you. The news made wavelengths on every aspect of
Yeah.
diehard Buckeye fans, and even Buckeye fans that tune in every Saturday. Very excited to see you come up the ranks, and we'll be watching with great interest. And Mr. Miller, I'm wrapping that up here. We like to ask a little bit. I know I called you Austin. It's such a military thing. I apologize to call somebody by their last name first. It just catches me. Austin, what a little two-handed question. What do you like to do for fun, to relax, to kind of unplug, so everything's not stressing you out? And what's your favorite flick, either Disney or in general? We like to kind of mix it up a little bit.
Yeah, so I like to watch. I'm a big movie watcher, so I like to watch a lot of movies. And I also like to play video games. I'm definitely always on college football. And, it just so happens to be that Ohio State is the team that I always play with in college football 26. Yeah, go Buckeyes. And what was the other question?
Oh, and what are your favorite flicks when it comes to movies?
Um, Favorite movies, definitely Pay It in Full. My second favorite movie is probably The Minions. I like that one a lot. I've liked that one since I was, really young.
Yes. My kids love that. We actually have tickets this weekend to see the new one. We're not going to
Yeah,
miss out.
definitely gonna be
Major
watching that.
sponsors. There you go. And hey, Austin, we've been on for a little over 30 minutes, a little over what I promised. Thank you for your time. I know it's been an absolute journey. Thank you to your family for
Yeah,
allowing us to have this access to you. Thank you to you. And if there's anything the Maxton Report can do for you moving forward, let us know. I'm going
Yeah.
to track your season. I'm going to post your stats regularly on probably Saturdays because I coach Friday nights myself. We all know what kind of deals those are. And,
Yeah.
Thank you, sir, for coming on. And we'd like to have you, maybe for a follow-up, when the season strikes zero and you guys go down and take care of business, go win a ring. I believe you guys can do
Yeah.
it. You guys showed resilience and, tough grit moving forward. And thank you for your time, sir. Thank you, everybody that tunes in. And Mr. Austin, do you have anything that you want to say before we sign off tonight?
OH.
This has been the Maxon Report with Austin Miller and the coach Jordan Maxon. God bless and good evening.